was freaking muted. I was freaking muted for that whole first part. Unbelievable. You know, folks, I like to call myself a professional, but seems like maybe I'm a little bit of an amateur here. Was muted that whole freaking time. Hopefully everybody here will forgive me for that, as I welcome you to another episode of How You Been? Episode 1433. Holy smokes, folks. We're smoking this shit. We're smoking it. As far as doing podcasts go, I don't think anybody's ever made it to this number. Closest thing might be to little Mr. Enemy of the show, Mark Maron, who, of course, is suing me in a court of law. But I'll look right into the camera and say, I'm talking straight to you. The how you band-aids, the how you bungholes, the how you bend Stillers, how you bend it like Beckham. I got all of it. He don't own the idea of talking about yourself and then interviewing somebody, folks. He don't own that. Okay? That's it's public domain concept. It's a public domain concept. Folks, very excited for the show today. Got a very exciting guest who I have not seen in quite a while. Mr. Points was my high school radio and TV teacher. You could say he's the person that inspired me to get behind one of these things. One of these things right here. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can't see what I'm tapping with my finger. It is a microphone. That's right. So Mr. Points is going to be on the show a little bit later. Very, very excited to have a conversation and see how Mr. Points has been. But I'm going to ask myself the question today, folks. How has Brett been? How have I been? And I'll tell you this. Business at the hardware store this week was a booming. Feels like people are starting to relax a little bit with the old COVID restrictions, which quite frankly gets me a little bit scared. Because as everybody knows, my lungs are smaller than normal people's lungs. I was born with a birth defect that made it so that my lungs stopped growing when I was 8 years old. This is new information for a lot of people. But if you're an OG listener who listened to the first few episodes that, of course, were released 27 years ago, you know that the small lung thing is still an issue for me. So I'm very scared of getting COVID. And it seems like it's running around like... COVID these days is running around like when my kids was 6 years old and I gave them a 2-liter of Diet Coke or Coca-Cola, and then I just let them run around the backyard. That's what it feels like COVID's doing right now. It's running around like a little caffeinated toddler, and it's freaking me the hell out. And so business has been booming at the hardware store. I don't know what it is about this time of year, but it feels like people are trying to do all sorts of outdoor projects, and it don't help that it's toilet week, which of course means buy one toilet, get one free. So a lot of people are putting in second bathrooms in their apartments right now. And of course, these days I'm running on commission, and it's hard. It's hard to sell multiple toilets, folks. So I did a little scheme this week, and I ain't proud of it. I got caught. I did a little scheme. You know how sometimes at the old carnival, you got a guy who's trying to guess people's weight. And somebody walks by, and the guy who's guessing weights calls out and says, Sir, let me guess your weight. There's a whole crowd watching around. Guy comes over, looks at him, says, I guess you weigh about 175 pounds. Guy gets on a scale, exactly right. Everybody around's like, oh my God, that's perfect. This guy's a psychic. He's a freaking genius. So anyway, I was trying to do that at the hardware store to sell a couple extra toilets. So I got my oldest to come in, walk around the store, masked, of course. And when I'm sitting there looking at the toilets like, oh, these toilets will look great into people's apartments. And then I'd see my son walk by, and I'd be like, sir, come over here. Come on over here. And then I'd try to sell my kid a toilet real loud. Oh my God, it's a heated seat. That ain't true, but people don't know that. I'm upselling. Heated seat. You can change the sound of the flush. Also another lie. And a lot of people say, Brett, the whole scenario here is wrong. Because not only are you selling a toilet to your kid and not to a person, you're also lying about the toilet. And I'm saying, you got to make a splash, folks, no pun intended. The key to salesmanship is making a freaking impression. Okay? Go big or go home. Don't hush or you'll get flushed. And so I'm making a whole scene. Being like, you'll love this toilet. Get your family to come in. They can sit on it. We'll have a good time. And so anyway, eventually, it gets to the point of the sale. When I got to put up or shut up, my son got to put up or shut up. We got a crowd going around. We got a crowd all around this. And I'm sitting there thinking, I got to close the deal. Even if this is my son. And so I get my kid to fork over $300 for the toilet that I got. I'm selling to him. And it's a whole deal. And I look around to everybody else and I say, does anybody else want any toilets? And people are like, I'd love the toilet that you're talking about. Heated seat. You could change the sound of the flush. Who wouldn't love to be able to change the sound of the flush on a toilet? But obviously, that ain't possible. So I got 60 people standing around begging me for a toilet that you could change the sound of the flush on. And I'm just sitting there thinking, what have I got myself into? I did this boisterous sales pitch to my son to try to sell a toilet so people would see I'm a reputable salesperson. And now I got people coming up to me, I want mine to have a radio in it. Oh, I want mine to vibrate. Which I'm like, hey, you can make your toilet vibrate all you want. I ain't going to judge you for that. But this ain't the toilet for you, is what I said. And so I'm flipping out. People are starting to get mad because they're realizing that I've been lying about what the toilets are like here. And so finally I say, listen, folks, you caught me, all right? You caught me. It's toilet week, and I was just trying to do a whole deal. I was trying to drum up business. This is my son. And I was a laughingstock, folks. People are sitting there, they're being like, Brett, you sold a toilet that don't exist to your own son. And I says to him, I'm aware of that. Okay? But just let me have this. So anyway, I got pulled off all the toilet shifts for the rest of the week, which is not good because every shift is a toilet shift these days. And so I'm losing it. I ain't working for a week. Everybody and their grandfather is getting COVID. And I'm freaking sitting here home, sitting on my fucking hands, wondering what the hell I'm going to get back into the hardware store to sell a toilet or two. And I don't think it's going to be happening. But luckily, I've had time to focus on my new hobby of playing the guitar. And so I was going to play you guys a tune that I learned this week. Very exciting stuff. And then, once I play this tune for you, we're going to jump right into it. We're going to get Mr. Points on here, and we're going to have a good time. So, it's a little tune that I learned by one of the best bands. This is one of the best bands that's ever been alive. And that's all I can say. And I think, unfortunately, this guitar is tuned down a half of a step because I was playing Stained earlier. But we're just going to play the song anyway. And see if it sounds okay or not. So it goes a little something like this. You don't recognize it, folks. Sing along. I actually don't know the words to it. I only know the guitar riff. So if somebody wants to do a remix or whatever, feel free to grab the files off the internet when they go up. and you could do a what's it called? A remix. But there's a little tune by a little band called Nirvana. This is a tune by a band called Nirvana. They're called Nirvana. Here it goes. You ready? There it is, folks. And of course, as you all know, I'm self-taught. I know you can't tell by how impeccable the strumming was. Self-taught? Brett DeMott, self-taught. Hope that guitar don't fall over at some point in this show. If you guys hear a loud bang, that's the guitar falling over. If you enjoyed that, come back next week. You might hear me play my favorite tune again, which is, of course, Outside by Stained. It's the only song that I know the entirety of. So if you liked that little bit, come back next week and you'll hear me play Outside by Stained in its entirety, all the words, singing the whole song. That's a promise I'm making to all you How You Ben Afflecks out there. So get excited for that. All right, real quick, we're going to just open the old mailbag also, just to get one little question in before we bring on Mr. Points, as we do every week. If you got a question for me, hit the old howyoubenshow@gmail.com, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. This question comes from, let me see, this is coming from George. It says, hey, Brett, how you been? Thanks for the great advice for becoming successful by investing 27 years into a show. Oh, this is a follow-up. Well, it seems to be too late for me. I've started my son's podcast up so that when he is my age, he will have a nice little fan base. I'm even thinking of getting him his first mic for his upcoming 3rd birthday. Great idea. 3-year-old podcast ain't been done. Great idea. The question today is, what's your favorite movie snack? Big left turn. I was expecting to have a question about podcasting. Looks like we're talking about movie candy, folks. I'm a popcorn traditionalist, it says, but are you going with a sweet treat? Maybe a slushie? Excited to hear your go-tos. Thanks, and keep up the great work. Easy answer, folks. This is an easy answer. We've talked about movies before. I'll do a little popcorn here and there, but we haven't gotten to my favorite thing, and my favorite thing in the whole world is a movie theater hot dog. And I'm not saying just my favorite movie thing. This is my favorite thing in the whole world. Movie theater hot dogs. I like a hot dog that has been heated up for too long and a bun that has been warmed in a microwave and then set out so that it gets a little bit chewy and a little crispy on the edges and soaking wet underneath the dog. That's what we love. That's what I want. That's it. Movie theater hot dog. It's my favorite food. That's canon, folks. Movie theater hot dog's my favorite food. But anyway, folks, that's enough. That's enough about old Brett and how I've been. And it's time to bring on our guest, Mr. Points. So I'm going to hit a quick break real quick, get Mr. Points on the line, and then we'll be back to check in with see how Mr. Points has been. So stick with it through this break here, and I'll be right back. BRB, as they say. Oh, yeah, folks, thanks so much for sticking it out through the break there. always appreciate you guys not running for the hills when old Brett leaves the screen. It's very, very, very kind of you to stick it out, as they say. But folks, as I said, I'm very excited for the show today because I'm checking in with an old friend. You could say an old friend, a teacher of mine from back in the day. And I'll tell you what, this guy looks so good for his age, just like your old man Brett does. And let me just go ahead and introduce my old teacher, Mr. Points. Mr. Points, the Points man. How you doing?
Sweetie will make love later.
Okay. Hey, keep it PG-13. Yeah, you're on. Do you see that you're on?
Wow, Brett.
How you doing? Brett. How you doing? How you been, Mr. Points?
Wow, you look so good, Brett.
I appreciate that. You know, you're the first person that ever popped into the call and said that. Most people say that I'm looking worse than I did back in the day, but you.
Let me see you come a little closer.
Okay, I can get a little closer. What do you think?
You look great.
Great. You so much. I appreciate that. You do too. I see you got the same. You haven't changed at all in 30, 40 years.
I've changed a lot. I've been through a lot of stuff.
No kidding. What kind of stuff? I mean, when I was a kid, you were the cool teacher. You were the teacher that had stuff going on when back in the day. So you're saying that things have changed, or are you still?
Tell me a little about that.
I mean, well, back then, TV radio class was my favorite class. You were like the teacher that said, like, yo, we don't do work here. We just have fun. And then the class just ended up being us, like, shooting the breeze, talking about movies, talking about TV shows.
We did. We really all hit it off. It was easy, you know.
Yeah.
It was can you hear me okay? It was an easy time.
I can hear you perfectly. And you used to take us on little unannounced field trips.
Yeah,
which was great.
Points unknown, we called it.
Points unknown, and it was a little code. And people, like, word got around town that there was this thing going on at the high school called Points Unknown, and parents were saying, "What the hell is this?"
What was your favorite Points Unknown?
I'll say this: favorite Points Unknown, undoubtedly, was when you took us to the Sam Goody at the mall, and you just took us to the poster section. And you just flip through. I mean, they got a huge poster at the poster section at this Sam Goody.
Well, it was so fun about it because you go up to the poster section, and they're as big as your body if you're 3 feet tall.
I mean, and we were kids, so we were pretty tiny.
You whip these posters back and forth. First of all, a kid could get smashed in between them, and there are some posters you'd like to get smashed in between.
Okay, and see, this is that little sort of off-color sense of humor that used to come out.
Sometimes when those tits are on those posters and you get stuck in there, you kind of can go, and it's kind of like it's really happening. And it's not, hey, that's just a little lesson from me to you.
I appreciate that.
If there was a Sam Goody anymore, we could all still do it, but we can't.
I know, and a lot of people say what we got these days is better than a Sam Goody poster section because you got literally the world at your fingertips on the internet.
You know what happens when I go on Google?
What happens?
I literally don't know where to begin. What I need is someone to walk me into a Sam Goody, stand me between a Jenny McCarthy and a Pam Anderson. And let me go buck wild till I jizz my sweats. And yes, I'm wearing the same sweatpants I wore to school every day when I taught your ass. And I saw it in you. Don't you remember that day when I first handed out I set you kids up at the microphones.
Uh-huh.
And I said, okay, pop quiz, dickweeds. what would the name of your show be if you could do a show? And you said,
how you been?
And then cut to how many years later?
I mean, I've been doing a show for 27 years. I'm 55, so it had to be about 10 years later. And yeah, here we are.
Mr.
Points, we're here. We're here. You got stuck in one of your little loops again.
It didn't feel good.
No, I know that's
But you know what I love, because I feel safe with you, because I knew you knew what was happening and you knew what to do. Not
Thank
everyone
you.
has that skill. I actually was outside getting the mail yesterday because I've been trying to get my vote from home ballot for the People's Choice Awards. And the mailman, I was talking to him and I said, and I'm not having one right now. I'm doing an impression of myself.
Okay.
And he pushed me. I
No
woke
kid.
up in a bush with a beer can in my mouth.
Hang on a second. How did a beer can get in there? Did you go out there with a beer?
I was chewing the side of it.
Were you chewing the side of it before you got punched and you just woke up and you were still in that state?
Yes.
Yeah, because I was going to say, you used to try to teach us, like, secretly. You taught us all these little party tricks that you used to do. And you one time, I remember, clear as day, we were on Points Unknown, and you pulled out a can of Coors Light, and you said, listen, kids, don't tell your parents that I'm showing you this, but this is better than shotgunning. And you said, just hang on one second. And then, no kidding, you took that can of Coors Light, and you corn on the cob that can of Coors Light.
It's a corn on the course.
Corn on the course.
Cob.
That's what you said. You said it's a corn on the course, and you're sitting there just chewing this can over and over again. The Coors Light's just going all over your shirt, falling out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And then we're sitting there thinking, like, I don't think my teeth are strong enough to bite through a Coors Light can. But it stuck with me. Since then, I'll tell you this: I did Coors on the Cob one time in college, and I made it all the way through. I made it all the way through one. So.
And then what happened?
And then I got a little bit sad because I am what people call a sad drunk. When I drink, I think about the sad stuff. I don't think about the happy stuff. A lot of people say, Brett, that seems like any time that you get emotional, you kind of veer towards the sad stuff and not the happy stuff. But
you got to rewrite the script, And this is something I taught you in the class, because when they're in the class, you're gonna write what I had you do. If we remember the syllabus.
I remember. I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Because you know exactly what it is. Because what we had you do is we had you start. I said, A, what's your name of your show? B, write a script for the show. And C, if you don't like how the script is going, literally rewrite the script.
That is true.
You did it.
Yeah, you introduced me to the idea of revising, we
call it rewrite the script.
Yeah, and because here I am, I'm a kid, I'm sitting here thinking, oh, when people create any sort of piece of media, they're going immediately to the final idea, right? There's no process. They never go back. They never revise. They never do anything. They have it completely fully formed in their brain.
Because they know they're done.
Yeah, they're
Remember
done.
These?
Oh, hey, you guys. I'm telling you this. If you guys,
these?
I remember Mr. Point's little air quotes. This was the talk of the school. Kids used to always say they would get out of trouble. Kids would use it to get out of trouble. They use it to get out of not having their homework when they turn it in.
Here's an example. Catch me in the hall.
Okay. Oh, Mr. Points. Mr. Points.
Well, no, I'm a kid.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Ron.
What?
Hey, what are you doing in the hallway?
Oh, there you are.
What are you doing in the hallway, Ron?
I was running from my homework.
And I mean, it works.
And it's that simple.
Yeah.
Try it.
Okay, now, yeah, catch me in the hallway.
Brett.
Oh, what's up?
Brett.
Oh, I'm a kid. I'm not me. I'm a kid.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm like, doo.
Pavilion.
Ah, hey, what's up?
Pavilion.
That's me, Pavilion. Of course, Pavilion Montrose, who was the salutatorian in my class.
Pavilion.
Yeah. Yes.
Where do you think you're going in between periods where the bell rang already?
I am. Me? I'm running from the bathroom. I mean, listen.
Brett!
I mean, there it is. I mean, what's the teacher gonna say when you throw that at him, huh? I'm running for the bathroom. What happened in there? You gonna
Brett,
follow up?
I miss you.
Hey, thank you. I miss you too, Mr.
I miss
Boyce.
you a lot.
Imagine-
Every day I think about you ever since you graduated.
You're kidding me. That means a lot to me because I often, my biggest fear is that people who had a massive impact on me are gonna forget who I am and forget what they did for me.
I'm crying.
No, don't cry, Mr. Points. This is oh wow, look at you. Look at you. You always have such easy. Come on, it sounds like you got a good life. You were talking to your honey before when we got on. Are you
All he
married?
wants to do is fuck.
I understand why you'd be crying in that scenario. It's difficult. It's difficult because you're more than just You always said you're more than just your boyish good looks.
You know what I always said to class? You know what I always said?
I do.
First start of class every day.
Uh-huh.
I'm more than just my boyish good looks. I'm more than just a penis. I am more.
And I'll say this. It was a lot of the parents in the school thought that the 1 month suspension that followed the first time you saying that in front of a whole class was too light of a punishment. But I mean, I'll tell you this. I think that's the first time that I was ever confronted with the idea that as a man you can be more than just a being that wants to reproduce. Because I want more than that.
Thought of that, right? But
Yeah.
you had never thought of that until I said it, right?
Not even once. Not even once. You see, because the media, everybody knows how the media portrays men as just all they are is their penises. Of course, the media definitely objectifies men. Absolutely.
I am sick and tired of being objectified. I am sick and tired of people telling me that I'm just a fuck machine.
No, hey, Mr. Points, we're here. You got stuck on a loop again. You got stuck on a loop saying "fuck
Feel
machine."
safe with you.
That honestly makes me feel so good because I don't think I have a relationship in my life right now that I feel like is mutual. Well, I am married. I did get married to BB, who you knew. BB was yeah, you know BB, and we had 3 kids. Yeah, I got 3 of them. I got
kids too.
No kidding. I mean, I know that you and your wife were trying when we were in school. So your kids must be adults. I see that you have on a sweatshirt that says "Dad's," and wouldn't you know, I have on a shirt that says "Proud father of a few dumbass kids." We got a lot in common, Mr. Points.
We are the one and only same.
It's true.
My kids are 31, 32,
Nice.
33, 34, 35,
How many kids do you have?
36, 37, 30, 29,
Okay, we're going back
28,
down.
26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
I'm sorry, Mr. Points. Am I to understand that you have? I believe you skipped. I believe you only skipped like 10 numbers. So, and you counted to 40, and then down to 20, and then from 10 down. So you've got 30 children?
I donated my sperm back when
Okay.
it was just becoming cool.
Right. Because everybody knows there was a time where donating sperm was not cool, and then it had a real moment back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Donating sperm had a huge moment.
The amount of kids got this mug.
Now that's
By the
impressive.
way, this hair,
Uh-huh.
I haven't cut this in all quarantine. That's as far as it grows.
No
except
kidding.
this.
Oh, so you got the. I was gonna point out we've having so much fun talking about other stuff. I hadn't even noticed the rat tail until just a moment ago.
It's not exactly a tail because it's on the side.
What would you call it then? Like a rat tuft? I don't even know what you
I'd
call it.
call it a Yorkshire Terrier ear.
Oh, actually, yeah. I see it. I get it. I absolutely get it. Now, is there any reason that your hair only grows to that point? Because I don't know that there is. I've never heard of a human being having any sort of issue with their hair not growing. I mean, I, of course, just before you came on, talked about how my lungs stopped growing when I was 8 years old, so I do understand the concept of stunted growth.
Can I tell you how it works?
Please do.
So, I wish I had my doll to show you, but have you ever had a doll that grew hair where you crank it?
I have not personally, but my youngest did have one, when she was a bit younger.
Okay, so what happens with that is when you play with the toy, you think that it's going to grow forever.
Mm-hmm.
You can crank it indefinitely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, legend has it, I have the same crank, but I did cut my hair many times.
Okay.
No more crank.
So you've reached the end of the crank. And now you're saying legend has it you have the same crank. And I would think the only person who could confirm whether you do or do not have said crank is sitting right in front of me. So, Mr. Points, is the legend true or is the legend not true? Is your hair crankable?
Are you ready to rumble?
Every time you've ever said that in the past, what followed was an amazing time. So absolutely, I am ready to rumble, Mr. Points.
So everyone knows in the middle of class, when everyone's starting to get a little glazed over, I say, are you ready to rumble?
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody wakes up a little bit, and then we go to town. Now,
Literally,
I'm going to give you a bit of we go to town. On a points unknown over the dollar store. Everybody gets whatever they want. One item only. Bring your own dollar.
BYOD.
It's a BYOD. But, and if you recall, I actually remember everything you bought every time I went to the dollar store. I can
No
list
kidding.
10 items.
You can list the 10 items that I bought when we went to the dollar store? I honestly, I only remember a couple of them, so I'm a little bit embarrassed by what they might be. I know that one was...
I got a photographic memory about you.
All right, so go ahead and just list off the 10 things that I bought at the dollar store on Points Unknown trips. And this is going to be a blast from the past for me.
One, $100 grand bar.
Okay, good. Yes, I do. That was my favorite chocolate bar
bar
as a
kid.
kid.
Was funny.
I did.
Only $1.
I said I spent $1 on $100 grand.
There you go.
Funny.
Number 2, you got those little green army men.
True. Still got those.
See, those last a long time. Number 3, you bought a coloring book.
True.
Religious.
Yeah. It's true. It was all religious tableaus. The Last Supper, Loaves and Fishes, The Passion, which was a little aggressive for a children's coloring book, but honestly, it was the first time I ever confronted, torture. So it was nice to be.
I kept that page.
That page went missing. I remember finishing that page and being like, "Oh, I did a good job on this one." It's not missing.
Right where it is.
You have it. Wow, that's impressive.
I cared about you a lot.
This honestly feels so good to hear. I've never felt this scene before.
Number 4, you got a fake flower.
Yes, that was for my mom. I remember specifically asking you, "Is this a flower that my mom will like?" And you said, "I don't know." You said, "I have never met your mom. Why would you ask me?"
Well, I don't lie.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. I was like, all right, I guess I'll risk it.
Number 5, you bought a spatula.
That's true. A lot of people say practical purchase for a kid. And I say, yeah, well, somebody's got to make the grilled cheeses.
Number 6, you bought a package of crayons to color in your coloring book.
And here's the thing. I bought the coloring book, and I was like, should next time buy crayons. But then I forgot. And so I bought a spatula, and I was like, well, Jesus, no pun intended. I ain't gonna be able to color Jesus until I get some crayons, and it took me a little while to finally get the crayons. But they were good crayons. They lasted through the coloring book. So I mean, that's
all you want are those little waxes.
Mm-hmm. That's all you want. You want them to last through one coloring book.
Number
7?
6.
I think it's 7.
Sound off in the chat if you know what number it is.
I'm pretty positive it's 7. I think we hit 6.
Number 7. You gave your dollar to the employee.
That's right. And a lot of people say, Brett, that's not charity. That's what a store is. You just foregoed a purchase to give $1. I foregoed a purchase, and I gave the cashier $1. Say, hey, get yourself something nice.
Anything you want in this store, you said.
Yeah.
This whole store is your oyster.
I said, it's on me. It's on me.
You said, it's on me. And you said, give me a call later. Tell me what you got.
I did.
I just like to know where my money's going.
Yeah, I just wanted to know. I wanted to make sure it went to good use. Here's the thing. My mom used to give me gifts, and if she ever gave me money, she would say, don't spend it on anything stupid. Get yourself something fun. So if she wouldn't want me to spend it on gas or bills, she'd be like, no, get yourself something you don't need. Get yourself something fun.
Well, the more I got to know your mom through you talking about it, the more I liked her, because she said, don't get gas, get gags.
Exactly. Get gags. Oh, my God.
Whoopee cushion.
I'll tell you this. It was very frustrating growing up with a mother who loved gags so much. Because a lot of times it's the kids playing tricks on their parents. Not in the DeMott household, folks. And also, as my viewers know, my mother was very tall and my dad was very short. So she could get you in ways that you never knew you could be got because she had a different vantage point on life. I'm saying, me and my brother had bunk beds, right? And you'd think, whoopee cushions, nobody's going to put the whoopee cushion on the top bunk. When you got a tall mom who loves gags, she's going to put the whoopee cushion on the top bunk. So I'm getting in bed at night, and my brother thinks I'm farting over his head.
Here's how funny that is. That's what I would do to that.
Thank you so much. Here's the thing. When it was coming out, I was like, this actually isn't very good or funny, is what I said when I was saying it in my head. But I appreciate that you thought it was funny.
That was hilarious.
I really do.
Number
8, I believe.
Number 8. This is when you started getting a little bit back to basics.
Mm-hmm.
You said, I'm going to go in. And you gathered everyone in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, I'm going to go in.
Made a big show of it.
And here's what I'm going to do. First thing my eye sees is what I buy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, got a little funny because you walked in with a blindfold. Your mama was rubbing off on you.
Yes.
You had kids push you into different aisles. Then you took off the blindfold and you bought the first thing you saw. Mm-hmm. What was it? A $1 drug test.
It was, and I was at the time, even as a child, I knew that dollar stores should not and normally do not sell drug tests, but this dollar store had a $1 drug test that could, I'm assuming, detect any sort of drugs. But I at the time wasn't a drug kid. I didn't smoke pot or do any of that stuff. So I just had a $1 drug test sitting in my sock drawer for 4 years.
And you remember what happened after the 4th year?
I do remember.
When I got in a bit of a pinch.
Uh-huh.
And I said, piss on this thing.
Uh-huh.
And drop it in my mailbox. And you know where I live, because I've taken you there with the whole class.
Yes. Points unknown.
Drop that in my mailbox, and I'm going to need that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I knew you were sober.
Yeah, and I did. I took a pee test for my radio and TV teacher, Mr. Points. Because I didn't want to see anything bad happen to you, Mr. Points. Because here's the thing. A lot of people
go to jail.
I know. And a lot of people say that you shouldn't cover for people who make bad choices. But to me, a person isn't just their worst choice. So just because you were... Yes, please do. That's what this is about.
My head look really small right now.
It does look pretty small. It does look pretty small. And, I mean, the perspective, it's because the shoulders are closer. Now your head's looking... Do you get on the computer that much these days, Mr. Points? You seem pretty impressed by very, like, basic computer stuff. You weren't aware when I brought you on. You weren't paying attention to what was going on. I feel like it's... Is this new for you? Have you not been doing much of the sort of Zoom communication since the whole pandemic started?
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
I wouldn't expect anything else.
Me?
Yeah.
I got fired.
No kidding. No kidding.
I miss you.
Wow. How long ago did
I really miss you.
How long ago did this happen? I mean, was this recent? Was it where you let go because of, anything going on right now?
It was day one of the pandemic.
No joke.
They said radio's dead.
I mean, I'm surprised they let it hang on this long, if we're being honest. Because
it's dead.
And because the thing with your TV radio class, you did not. I checked in over time, and you did not sort of like evolve with the times to get into podcasting. You were like over the airwaves or nothing. Over the airwaves or I don't want it.
I don't even think Sirius XM is radio.
Yeah, hey, it's not. It's literally from satellite beams.
Is it free? Oh.
For first 3 months that you get a new car, it is, and then they hike the price up on you immediately. You're like,
so
I got addicted to the Comedy Channel. Yeah, you got to buy a car. Because I'll tell you, this is how Sirius got me. They got me with the 90s alt-rock station, the Lithium station.
Oh, I want to sing you a song. It was actually a song you were playing.
No kidding. Yeah.
Do
you remember any of the words to that song? Because I don't.
It goes like this. I had a fish, but I killed it when I didn't feed it. When I went out of town, I forgot to feed it, and I didn't have a friend come by to check on it, and I killed my fish because I forgot to feed it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Wait. Actually, those are the words. I forgot. You don't really hear the words when he's singing them. When Kurt Cobain is singing them. Rest in peace, lead singer of Nirvana, the best rock band in history. You don't really make out all the words when he's singing them, but that song is about his pet fish that he forgot to feed when he went out of town. I'll tell you this. I don't like to admit it in public, but I have let a few small animals that my kids had as pets. I have actually accidentally killed a couple of fish and also a hamster. And I'm very sorry about it, but it just happens. It's hard.
Taking you away.
Yeah. Hey, lock me up, folks. I killed a fish and a hamster. I'm very, very sorry.
I'm locking you up. I'm gonna put you in a little box. I'm gonna keep you on the counter.
Keep you on the counter? That's actually, I mean, that makes sense. If I treat me as I've treated others, and I mean, that's.
Keep you on the counter, and I'm gonna look at you every day, and I'm gonna go. I like it in there.
On the cage that you keep me in, or the terrarium.
Yep.
I mean, and they say don't do that.
You're so small. I like how small you got. You're so little. And I'll say, Brett, tell me all your favorite memories of me, and I'll tell you all mine of you. Did I even finish my list?
I don't think so. I think we got 2 more.
1, meaning number 9. You bought your mommy eyeliner.
That's true. That is true. And I'll tell you this. I thought I was getting her a nice gift for going out or like dressing up. Turns out I was just getting her materials to draw mean pictures on my face when I fell asleep.
So what'd she draw?
She drew my mom, and hey, this ain't that weird, but I guess it is kind of weird. My mom used to draw penises on my face when I was asleep. She used to draw penises on my face when I was asleep, and then I'd go to school, and she'd say, "Don't go in the bathroom. Don't go to the bathroom." And of course, I'd run away from the bathroom. So that's why it was always in my head that I'd run away from the bathroom, like we discovered earlier. And so I'd go to school with a penis drawn on my face that my mom put on as a joke.
And then did you ever come to my class with that on?
I believe I'd been sufficiently bullied before I got to TV radio class, so I had wiped it off. All those times that I came in with a sort of black smudge on my forehead, and people just assumed that. Of course, I was religious, so they assumed it was Ash Wednesday. That's actually not what it was. It wasn't ashes on my forehead. It was smudged off eyeliner that was in the shape of a penis that my mom drew on my face when I was asleep as a prank.
I like how you were tapping your head like that.
Honestly, it's a good sensation. It's like ASMR or whatever that stuff is. It kind of gives you the tingles a little bit.
I do a little ASMR. I just been recording voice memos. I'm not sure what to do with them yet.
Oh, I mean, that's a lucrative industry. I would love to. I'd love to.
What kind of thing relaxes you?
I like people reading numbers.
Okay.
I like the alphabet. I like sort of short sounds.
Okay.
Short sounds.
I'm gonna read you an excerpt from a book I like.
Okay.
1-9 ABC 1-7 X 1-9 ABC 1.
This is from a book you like.
I'm reading it right down here.
From a book?
Yeah.
I don't think I know this book.
2, 3. DXP.
Can I tell you what this sounds like? This sounds like the serial number from a laptop computer. Are you reading the serial number? Are you reading the serial number?
Come to my house.
Listen, Mr. Poise, I'd love to come to your house. I truly would, but there's so many circumstances that are preventing such a thing from happening right now. But I'll tell you this: how about when all this craziness in the world is over, I'll come over. I promise I'll come over. I'll come say hello. Please don't cry. I swear. When the world opens back up normal, I'll be at first thing I do. Before I even do anything that anybody that I love wants to do, I will come to your house and just hang out. Do you have an activity in mind? I'm down for whatever. Color? You know what, Mr. Points? I will make this vow right now. The second it is safe to do so, I will get in my car, I will go to the dollar store, and I will get a religious coloring book and a pack of crayons. I will bring them to your house, and we will sit on the floor in your living room, and we will color religious tableaus.
That makes me feel really good.
I'm glad it does. I'm glad it does. And now
we got one more on the list.
I was gonna say we got to wrap things up here in a minute, but we got one more thing. And I always hate it when you're doing a list and you got one thing that you've sort of built up to, because this could be very embarrassing because I don't remember what it is. I wish I did.
You're gonna be embarrassed. You're gonna be embarrassed.
Go, just lay it on me, Mr. Points. Lay it on me.
You did something really silly.
I did something with my dollar. I did something. I did not buy anything. I did something.
No, what you bought.
Oh, okay.
You said, well, you got up on top of the conveyor belt
At the dollar store. Yeah. This dollar store, it had it kind of looked like a old bank, except it was a conveyor belt instead of the little pneumatic tubes. It was like a conveyor belt that you would put stuff on that would take it all around the store and take it up to the front. It makes sense. It's normal.
And you said, well, everyone, this is word for word.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, it's been 10 times we came here, and this is number 10. And I'm going to do something with this dollar that's going to be hilarious.
So far, word for word, you're right.
What I'm going to do is by the time this conveyor belt takes me to the front, I'm going to get another 100 grand and bring it full circle. And everyone was laughing.
Yeah.
So hard.
Yeah.
And the people who worked there were staring, and you went all around. And you went all around, and you got to the front, and the girl said, we don't have that right now. And you said, did I guess this dollar is going in the wall of frame? And then you bought a frame, but then you didn't have the dollar anymore. So then you were like, wait, can I have the dollar so I can put it in the frame? And she's like, that's what you paid for the frame. And then you were like, Mr. Points, can I have another dollar? And I said, only get the one.
No, I only get the one. Oh, now that you're saying it, I remember. And the thing that is most embarrassing is my wall of frame. This, of course, was a thing that I had. That I was obsessed with mementos. I would every time I went and did anything fun, I would bring back a memento and I would get a frame for it. Sometimes a shadow box. And I would put the item inside of the frame or the shadow box and I would put it on my wall of frame, which of course was a thing that I didn't tell anyone about until senior year when I thought it was safe to tell everybody about it. Turns out it was still weird because I guess had more nostalgia for the past than the other seniors in high school who were just like, high school's over, let's get the hell out of here. And I was like, no, let's like take a minute and really think about this. This is the best time of our lives, I said. Like, it's never going to get better than this. And we have to remember everything that we did and all the things that we've seen. And all this wall of frame has memories from when we were kids on it. And everybody made fun of me. And this was, of course, in the middle of graduation because I brought the wall of frame to graduation thinking it would be a cool thing in the middle of the ceremony. I thought there was a speak now or forever hold your peace moment in a graduation.
Remember what I did?
When
I saw that.
I do remember what you did.
I went like this.
And of course, you were working the concession stand. So it was
I was knocking hot dogs together.
Which, little did you know, what you were doing. This is canon now. Hot dogs from a movie theater concession stand are my favorite food in the whole world. So what you were doing was celebrating with my actual favorite food, which meant more to me than almost anything that anybody else could ever do. And Mr. Points, that is why, to this day, no one has affected me in a more real way than you have. And that is why you're the only teacher from my past that I've ever had on the show. Because you mean that much to me, Mr. Points. You've done so much for me. And so this was my chance to bring you on here and show you how much you mean to me. You changed me. You're the reason How You Been's even a show, Mr. Points. And you should be proud of that if you're not proud of anything else. Are you proud of anything else?
I'm proud of two things in this life.
Good.
One, my illustrious teaching career.
Mm-hmm.
And two, the man I made you.
Wow. And that you do have a partner. There's somebody in your house, unless I'm starting to think you weren't talking to anybody at the beginning of this call. You were just
Hey, yes I was.
Okay.
I can prove it.
Oh, really? How?
Oh, I'm going to yell to her again.
I mean, I'll
Okay,
accept
sweetie,
that as.
you could do that later.
You know what? I'll accept that as proof because I don't want to dig further. Honestly, I don't want to dig further, Mr. Points. I feel like it'll make me sad. So we'll just accept that your sweetie is going to let you do that later. And then when all this stuff is over, I'm gonna come over to your house and we're gonna color religious tableaus in a coloring book.
Yes.
And it's gonna be the best time of either of our lives. So yeah,
Wait.
Mr. Points, I think we got to wrap things up. But I really appreciate you coming on the show today. It was really nice catching up with you, and it's nice to see that you're still kicking, even if you cried for a while.
I really love you.
Well, I'll say I love you too, Mr. Points. I do,
Wow.
and I hope that I hope things.
Recorded?
This is being recorded. It's actually being broadcast live on the internet right now. So we both said it, and we're just gonna have to live with it. Mr. Points, thank you so much for being on the show. I will definitely see you when all this is over, and we'll. It's very funny to me that my teacher from high school just is blowing kisses. Your mustache looks great, by the way. But yeah, Mr.
Beard.
You call that a beard? All right, Mr. Points, I'm going to let you get out of here, and I'm going to wrap the show up. Thank you so much for being on the show today, and I'll be checking in with you again really, really soon. Thank you so much for being here.
Call me.
Okay.
Love you.
Oh, man. Mr. Points, folks. Mr. Points. Wow, what a time that was. It was great catching up with Mr. Points, being reminded of the 10 things I bought at the dollar store. Folks, I'm fine. I really appreciate y'all. I noticed while I was talking to Mr. Points, looked like somebody gifted a whole bunch of subscriptions to the chat, but it's already gone, so I can't say thank you. Appreciate whoever did that. I was gonna say it's always nice to see the support like that, subscribing to the channel, following the channel, and I also like to pay my guests. And obviously, Mr. Points really needs it. So if anybody could spare even just $1 or $2, you can click the donate button below. There's also a donate link in the chat right now that you can click to donate even a buck. If everybody donated $1, that'd be incredible so that I can pay Mr. Points for their time. But I really appreciate everybody being here, subscribing, following, all that good stuff, because it makes it really fun for me to be able to do the show here every week, and I really appreciate it. We will be back again. I'm fine. Next week, same time, same place, right here, twitch.tv/itsjohnmackey. If you like the show, please follow, please subscribe. Also, you can find out who's going to be the guest on the show next week if you watch my producer John's Friday night stream here on the channel. He's been streaming some spooky Halloween games on Friday nights, so check it out if you can. Join the Discord also. Lots of fun stuff going on. There's currently a bean debate going on in the Bits channel in the Discord about what's the best bean. There's a bracket involved. But folks, I really appreciate you being here. Like I said, again, if you could donate a couple bucks so I can pay Mr. Points, that'd be great. If not, just I appreciate you guys being here and watching. It makes it real fun for me. So tune in next week, same time, same place. And until then, I forgot how I normally say goodbye on this show. Oh, I remember. Brett.